G'day everyone, Alex Watson here from Funded Finance, back with my trusty handy microphone, and welcome to another essential guide for first home buyers. And today we're diving deep into a topic that often catches people off guard: all the potential costs involved in buying your first home here in Queensland, and going far beyond just the deposit. In over a decade in property, real estate and finance, I've seen countless first home buyers get tripped up by unexpected expenses. And my goal today is to give you a complete picture, not to scare you, but to make sure you're fully prepared. The old advice of just get 5 or 10% simply doesn't cut it at all, especially when you factor everything in. And today I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of all the potential costs involved in buying your first home here in good old Queensland, complete with a sample, budget and practical tips to ensure that you're financially ready. So let's break down where your money really goes beyond that initial deposit. Let's be honest, the word deposit has been bandied about and overused, and what you truly need are your funds to complete. This is the total amount of money that you need to bring to the table to finalize the purchase. It includes your actual loan deposit plus all the government fees, legal costs and other essential expenses that you're going to accrue. And as an example, if you're looking at an $850,000 purchase and only consider a 5% deposit, that's $42.5 grand. But if we're buying an existing home, you haven't quite got enough. You're going to need significantly more cash on top of that for the other items to talk about. And many people miss this information, and it's where the financial stress often kicks in an otherwise journey that is already tough enough. The largest hidden cost is almost always stamp duty or transfer duty here in Queensland. And this is a state government tax on the transfer of property ownership, and it typically has to be paid at settlement with the bank. While other states have different thresholds in Queensland, if you're a first home buyer and eligible, you could receive a full or partial exemption if you're looking at purchasing between $600,000 and $800,000. For example, in Victoria, you can get a stamp duty exemption up to that amount, with a sliding scale up to $750,000. New South Wales offers exemptions up to $800,000 with a sliding scale of $1 million. These thresholds constantly change, so it's vital to check the latest Queensland government figures, but we'll help you calculate that exactly. Now, it's really important to note that we're not going to mix up First Homeowners Grant and exemptions of stamp duty. First Homeowners Grant, or FOGS, is only available for new builds, and it incentivizes new construction because we simply don't have enough housing. And this boosts your savings if you're building or buying a brand new property. Next, we're going to talk about essential protective costs. You absolutely need a legal representative for your conveyancing or a solicitor to handle the transfer of ownership. Ensure the contract is sound and manage the settlement process. Budget anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, sometimes more depending on the complexity. This isn't a place that you want to cut corners. Sometimes those more expensive places, they're all inclusive. The cheaper ones will add fees. And you'll also need to pay a fee for the registration of your property's title to the land titles office in your state. Building and pest inspection. This is a non-negotiable in my book, and these inspections should be done before you go unconditional to ensure your property is structurally sound and free of pests. And it typically costs $500 to $800, but you can save thousands of dollars in future by identifying key structural issues, termites or other significant defects. And I've seen a ton of people skip this and regret it deeply, especially with Cyclone Alfred and all those storm events having huge impacts on water ingress. Your bank also has a few costs to factor in. LMI, or lender's mortgage insurance. If your deposit is less than 20% and we can't use the first home buyer's guarantee, then the bank will charge you LMI. It protects the lender if you default on your home loan. It can be a significant cost, potentially tens of thousands of dollars. And if we look at a 5% deposit, generally we actually need to tick that up to 9% plus the cost of purchasing. Now, while it's a cost, it's not an evil swear word. I've seen so many people buy into the market and get in sooner because of it, and it lets you get going ASAP. We'll explore if it's the right choice for you, because there's a lot of things in the market that hopefully the first home guarantee can get you out of that, which means you can buy a property with a true 5% deposit plus costs. The loan application or establishment fee. Some lenders charge an upfront application fee, sometimes called a settlement fee or establishment fee, and these can range from a few $100 to over $1,000. Many competitive loans don't have that at the moment. I don't see it often, but it's absolutely something we check for, and to be frank, you'll know about it well before we lodge an application. And valuation fees have been a thing, so the bank will get an independent valuation of the property to confirm its worth, and might do it automatically or send someone out. It's 99.99% covered by the lender, but there are very uncommon circumstances where you need to pay for this. One massive thing that I've seen people trip up by $300, $400, $500 is rates and adjustments at settlement. So at settlement, you essentially need to buy the council rates and water that the previous owners paid off them. And so you'll see a pro-rata charge from the previous seller that's on your settlement statement, and you will have to pay for that. Then look, you're moving into a property, so there's going to be utility connection fees. Moving in means connecting the electricity, the gas, and the internet. It might not be huge out of pocket, but it's something you got to think about. I cannot recommend using a proper mover enough. It's saved me so much time over the years by doing and packing properly, but it is a cost that you've got to factor in. And if you're not going to do it through sweat equity and baking with your family, then look, it's going to be a couple grand. Building insurance as well is something that you need to understand, that your bank will make sure you have building insurance. And if you're buying an apartment, it's not that big of a deal, but if you're buying a house, then you're going to have to pay for it. It's an annual cost or a monthly basis or just upfront. And ongoing, don't forget to budget for things like council rates, strata fees, taxes after you move in if you've got an investment property as well. Preparing for these costs requires strategy, and here are my top tips for getting through that. Tip 1, get a fully assessed pre-approval first. This is your ultimate ticket to understanding the costs associated. So you go what your borrowing power is, what grants you concessions, and what your budget will actually do for you. It clarifies your maximum purchase price with the cash that you have and all the associated fees, giving you real clarity. The second tip is talk to a broker early. Don't wait until you think you have the full deposit saved. My advice is get in touch with someone and get a meeting ASAP so you know what the target and the goal is in place. If you're not, and you may actually be ready quicker than you think. If you're not, a meeting with a professional will enable you to put goals in place and work towards that while making sure your finances stay clean and you maximize your borrowing capacity and reach your savings goals sooner. The third tip is create a detailed budget and stick to it. Go beyond just saving a lump sum, 10 grand when you get a bonus or something like that. Factor in every single one of your savings week to week, month to month. Track your spending. My little tip is for fast tracking your deposit using the First Home Super Saver and high interest accounts like term deposits. Locking that money away is so powerful to getting your deposit sooner. Tip number 4, explore government schemes and guarantees. And look, this links into tip number 1. We will make sure that we're researching all your options to make sure that you've got the first home buyer's guarantee, the co-ownership options on the table, and work through every single thing that's available to our first home buying clients to understand what your option and opportunity is within the market. Understanding all these costs might seem like a lot, but it's the key to a stress-free home buying experience. My team and I at Funded Finance specialize in guiding first home buyers through this exact process, ensuring that you're prepared for every expense and leveraging every single opportunity here to us in good old sunny Queensland. And if you want a personalized breakdown of your potential costs, an accurate assessment of your borrowing capacity, and a clear roadmap to buying your first home, click the link below to book a free, no obligation strategy session with us. We'll help you get on that property ladder and work towards your funded future. I'm Alex Watson. I'm here with my trusty microphone, and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.